The views expressed on the Convo Lounge do not reflect the views of our current employers or our future employers.
All right, y'all. Welcome to the Convo Lounge with your hosts, Amir Anthony, Char Rochelle, and Antonio Crow. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Thank you for joining us for another episode. A lot to talk about. So let's open this up. First of all, how y'all doing?
All is well in my world.
That's right. All is well.
I'm chilling with the feeling.
I'm doing good. I'm glad that March Madness is back. Shout out to the NCAA. And y'all need to step y'all game up with your women athletes. The accommodations are not as good as it is for men. So y'all need to step your game up. And I'm glad that March Madness is back. Shout out to March Madness. So let's
open it up. Future, because we balling like it's March Madness.
Yeah.
Lucky lefty, baby.
Boy.
All right. So question of the day, y'all. And this is like so relevant right now with everything that's going on. We are a year in the pandemic. And the time of it being opened back up again is imminent. So what is the first activity you plan to do when the pandemic or state orders are lifted? So I'm going to defer to you, Char, since you're not in Cali.
Okay.
So what did you...
I'm still going to act like we are still in the pandy and chill, because just because the government says it's safe doesn't necessarily mean it's safe. I think that it's great that folks are getting vaccinated, but I still don't necessarily feel comfortable with being out and about as I was before. So I would let y'all go out and see if y'all survive, and then I'll go out. But I'm still gonna operate in solitude for a little while longer.
I respect that. Well, I would have to say, in Cali, the governor has already phased out what's going to happen next month. And there's already conversation. Disneyland is opening back up. Sports and live events. So Dodgers baseball season starts in a few weeks. So Dodger Stadium will be open. Angel Stadium will be open. I don't know what it looks like for, basketball with the Lakers and Clippers, but as things continue to like phase and go into the next step, I wouldn't be opposed to going to a live event, because I know it won't be at full capacity anyway. But I think the thing that I do miss is live sports, like live events. But I would just have to do extensive like research before I decide to go back out there again. But I do miss it though. I need to break the routine. So I'm looking forward to it. It's nothing like being at a baseball game, having a hot dog and a beer. That's the best. So.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I really miss is live performances. So live concerts, live shows. Yeah. That's the only thing that I really have missed in this last year. I feel like the pandemic has been a gift for me. It's given me a lot of time to self-reflect, rediscover myself, find out who my real friends are, reconnect with family, reconnect with, my talents, and really cultivate different business ventures. So it wasn't all bad for me. The only thing that I can honestly say I miss outside of traveling at my own leisure is live concerts.
Yeah, I agree.
Live concerts for sure.
I feel like I've enjoyed the pandemic. But when it comes to work, it's been difficult. But outside of that, my personal life, I've been enjoying the quarantine aspect, the social distancing aspect. So as we move forward to I guess the normalcy that the masses are waiting for, more people will be able to get money now. They'll be able to go back to work, and that's a good thing to stimulate the economy. But I'm just gonna lay low, go with the flow, not really trying to be out there, not trying to be at every event. I don't really want to see everybody all the time. I'm not missing that part at all.
Thank you. Yeah, Thank you.
Not trying to be at every day. No, I'm not.
I will say this. I would be open to travel again. That's definitely something that's on the horizon. And I am looking at planning a trip since I do play golf. I'm looking at doing a trip where I can go to like a beautiful resort, play a few holes and enjoy. But you know, when you play the game of golf, you're not around a bunch of people anyway. But I can agree with you guys. I mean, even if I went to a live sporting event, it's not like it's going to be full capacity anyway.
Right.
Yeah, no. But I had to say back to what you were saying, Shar. Like the growth process of being in this pandemic, like we wouldn't be together right now to have a platform for you all to listen to. So we appreciate you all supporting us as we continue in this journey and being creators in our own right. So yes, the pandemic has had its ups and downs, but it's also had its blessings. We have leveled up in a lot of areas as well, and we learned a lot about ourselves. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah,
most definitely. So I
yeah,
guess,
and for those of you all who did not level up during the pandy, it's okay. Like perhaps it wasn't your season. We're still on this earth. Right. Every day is a new day. So your season of level up is yet to come.
And don't spend your stimmy if you got a stimmy. Don't spend your stimmy in the pandy.
If you did get a stimmy, I will be putting my Cash App in the show notes.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm still taking birthday donations 4 months out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking.
For sure. So I guess we all, what have you guys been up to outside of, the question of the day? I know we talked about that, but what else is going on with y'all? I feel like I haven't talked to y'all in a minute.
Yeah, I have something brewing that I want to share, just not now, but I'm brewing something right now that I'm super excited about. Okay. Long term. Again, with the pandemic and just spending quiet time this year and doing a lot more meditating and quiet time with God, I feel like I've really discovered what's next for me in my life's purpose. I feel like things are finally coming together in a way that it makes sense for my livelihood. And I know that it sounds very cryptic and vague, but when it happens, when the first step happens, I will share it with all of our loungers. But until then, I'm excited about what's next. I am currently rebranding Char's Cookie Jar to make it more professional, giving it a little facelift on the website front, and working on some things for A Tribe Called Blessed, which is the nonprofit that I'm launching as well. And then personally, just like I said, just spending a lot of quiet time, stealing away from a lot of noise, distractions. I'm still off of social media, and it's been very, very helpful in this season. And just being intentional every day, every hour, just trying to be present and in the now, because I have the propensity to always be in tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, and just reminding myself that all we have is today, and how can I be the most present and the most effective in this moment. So That's what I've been up to.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I've just been grinding, steady on the grind, trying to build more connections with people on social media. The day jobs got me going like bananas, so enjoying that, enjoying that activity of that, and just trying to continue to build and stay strong out here in this pandemia. You know what I mean? So yeah, basically.
The panorama.
Yeah.
Panorama. All right. Things are good. I gotta give a shout out to my therapist, Jerome. I gotta give a shout out to him. He's been a blessing.
Shout out to Romy Rome.
Yeah.
Rome.
He's been a blessing for real. So one thing for me is I've been trudging along, moving with purpose. That's been my focus. And it has been a lot for me, has been a challenge just navigating in the space that I work in and trying to have a balance of work and then life, and not because I work from home. So I try to I have to do a better job with not allowing it to consume me to the point where it just implodes. So I've been working on things to keep me balanced, and I'm thankful for that. And like you, Shar, I take my social media breaks as well. Especially on the weekend, I find that very helpful and healthy for me to not be involved into what's going on out there. especially with the media too. And I was talking to a friend about this same very thing, and she said, you know, you got to take time off from that stuff and remember that all is well. So I want to say that I appreciate her sharing that with me a few days ago. And that's what we have to continue to remember, because every day is different, no matter what you may think. So you just have to approach it and move with purpose. So I'm thankful for the fact that I have someone that I can talk to that's professional to help me get along and to make me realize that the thoughts that I have sometimes are not thoughts that are abnormal. They're normal thoughts to have, and you're a human, and you just got to keep it moving and know that what you do every day and the people around you, they are not the alpha and the omega. You know, don't give too much energy into things that you can't control, and you got to keep it pushing, because you know what, you know, you have a purpose and you have a meaning in life. So I'm thankful for my guy Jerome chopping it up with me every Wednesday evening after I get off of work, which was done for a purpose. I said I would like to talk to you when I'm done with my day, so we can just recap and I can recalibrate and reset for the next day. And it happens
every day.
No, every Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Every Wednesday after work, he chops it up with me, and it's like 30 minutes of just refreshed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And it was purposeful too. I said, y'all, I did my assessment. I said, y'all give me a Black, you know, therapist or someone who's experienced in that area, and I'll be fine. I ain't gonna be spending my time talking to this random people now. So she said, I got a guy named Jerome. I said, don't get no blacker than that.
No blacker. The only blacker you can get is Otis. Like,
right. Right. And it's funny too, because like he'll give me his, you know, he'll go into like details on certain things. And then there's an element of preaching in there, but it's like that old soul. And I just appreciate his voice. And yeah, shout out to my guy. That's my guy. Yeah. But that's what I've been up to. But it's been a blessing though, y'all. It's definitely been a blessing.
Cool. That's what's up.
Cool.
So what else is going on, y'all? What else is going on in the internet streets or hot topics? What are we talking about today?
We're gonna open it up with something that kind of goes to what I just mentioned right now, is healing. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's been some stuff going on right now with Kirk Franklin. Mm-hmm. And you know, during my many social media breaks that I happened to check in and see that this was happening. It was on the timeline. I'm just like, wow. So I guess for me, it's one of those things when you're a celebrity, things are going to be heightened because of the world we live in, right? And then you have social media. But when you're someone of his stature, he's part of the new wave of gospel music. He's been the face of it for the last 20 years or so, probably even more. Mm-hmm. So anything that happens in his personal life is going to be examined and magnified on a whole nother level. And, you know, I'm a son, and I've had some differences with my dad. The only difference between the two of us is that he's not a millionaire gospel singer. And, you know, that's just the difference in that whole thing. So I don't see, you know, the fact that the conversation was recorded, it was an invasion of, I mean, there has to be boundaries, right? So I'm trying to figure out who wins in this situation. Does his son win or does Kirk win? And no one wins in this situation. So I hope and pray that there is some closure. His son is a grown man. He's an adult. He's entitled to his opinion. But at the same time, you have to remember that the things that you have in your life happens to be off of the back of your father. And I hope
Ray-Z said it best. Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Nobody wins when the family feuds. So I hope and pray that the family can get together, especially during the times that we're in right now. I hope that, you know, this Black man and his son can come together. And I'm pretty sure there will be, but I just don't like the fact that it's exposed in the manner that it is. And there's nothing you can do about it. But I hope that there's some healing. And I hope that they can get together. I have these conversations even with my friends that have kids. And one of them in particular was talking about his relationship with his son. And it happens at an early age. It usually happens at an early age. And it's like, you have to sit back and really think about it. Like, what I'm doing now, is it going to have an effect on our relationship when he gets older? And that's basically what took place here. And it has imploded. So I hope that there's a process of healing, and it's not put out there where we all know about what's going on and that it's done in behind closed doors. That's my 2 cents on it.
So I just want to say, there's been a couple of activities that Kirk Franklin's been in. But first of all, Kirk Franklin has the biggest gospel record. Stunt was the biggest gospel record in gospel history. So whatever happens in his family is going to impact the whole gospel genre. Is going to impact all the churches for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's a trip because Kirk Franklin's been doing like a lot of performances lately. You see him on some videos regarding the pandemic. And then boom, all of a sudden, then his son just comes out and just blows him out of the water. Like all this character building that he's been doing, his son just like, no, nigga, like, no, this is who you are. Like, and it's not, I mean, I heard that the video a couple years ago. Maybe it is or it's not, I don't know. But the unfortunate part is why, and it's a thing that I hear a lot with people that are in the ministry. You're healing the world, but you're not taking care of the family. Mm-hmm. And that kind of hurts. That kind of hurts the people that should be, I guess, attended to first. So, just going to keep praying for that unit. Like, I don't know exactly what happened to the point where, but the thing is that the way he was cussing, it was like his energy behind it, like he was very upset. And I don't think that should be exposed. Like, I think that was very personal. It's unfortunate that the son would, in the social media world, like that was just you just don't do that. And at that age, like, it's okay if a father and son really have a fist fight, nigga. I'm you know what I'm saying? Like at that age, you 30-some years old, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. I'm gonna piggyback what you said. It did rub me a little bit where it's like, bro, you a grown man. You gonna sit here and record you? Like, what benefit you get? Your father is a celebrity. You're exposing him. And then you're now allowing people to be involved. And I think for me, that's probably the most upsetting thing is like now everyone knows his business. It's none of my business, but I now know it now because it's on my phone. And then you record this conversation like, bro, like his credibility, not Kirk, but the son's credibility is kind of in question. It's like, dude, you could have came to him and had the conversation man to man. What benefit do you have to do something like now it exposes to where now we know, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's not Kirk Franklin's current wife's son. That's from another woman. So now his mom is now involved. I didn't know that she existed. So it's like now you're bringing all of these skeletons out. And it's just like you said, Antonio, he's a renowned gospel artist. He's basically changed the way that gospel music has been for the last 20 years. And he's always doing things, to keep himself busy. And it's like now he has to shut down and focus his energy on his relationship with his son. And I hope that there's some healing there. But yeah, his son recorded, that was funny stuff. It's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah. It sounds to me like his son has mental health issues, either diagnosed or undiagnosed. I did listen to an interview with his mom and someone in Texas, a Texas-based radio host. Mm-hmm. And she had even alluded to conversations where the son had threatened to record her as well. So it sounds like the son has I'm sorry?
He's mentally disturbed in some kind of capacity.
Exactly. And that's what they're not addressing. And that's what a lot of church folks fall short of is they want to push this Jesus type healing on you, opposed to realizing that mental health, mental behavior, like that takes a licensed therapist. And they did say that they've sought out family therapy. They've used both of their resources, both the mother and Kirk have sought out different ways to give this son therapy. And that's all fine and dandy, but we all know therapy will only work if you're a willing participant and if you're willing to do the work. So I understand that Jesus is a healer. However, I come from the personal belief, just for me in my own life, that I need both Jesus and a therapist. And it takes a person willing to do the work for the work to work. And until they address that, there is not going to be a safe solution. The other thing that disturbed me about this was the threats. Like, I understand disrespecting a Black parent, and my parents did a very good job at instilling a reverence and respect and low-key fear at a very young age, to where I could never buck up at my mom to this day. Like, to this day,
Hey,
I could not buck. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to test her in that way to like knuck if you buck on her. And she's a very sweet woman, but she instilled a level of fear in me at a very young age that let me know she's not to be tried whatsoever. But it just also perpetuates, again, intergenerational trauma that Black people have experienced, where the way we discipline our children is to verbally or physically abuse them. You don't see that going on in the white community. So yeah. I take that back to, and maybe I'm going too deep with it, but it's like that slave mentality that has poured into how we raise our kids.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Well, I think like there's not a real promotion of mental health or therapy. And when you said something very, very profound, Shar, pushing Jesus. But, if you come from like the 30s to today, a lot of people didn't have medical insurance.
True.
In the Black church.
True.
So Jesus was the only healer.
True. That is very true.
And then you only gonna go to the doctor if you're sick, not for like, oh, I'm having this stress at work, or my life is, overwhelmed, or I have anxiety. Like, people didn't go to the doctor. They didn't even go to the doctor until they was dying.
True. That is true.
Generations. So here we are in the therapy realm, because it's a little more prevalent now. Therapy is a little more prevalent, a little more preached, but here we are.
It's trendy.
Right. And we're in the social media realm at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a whole bunch that comes with this, especially with mental health. We find out that people, we see them on the outside as thriving, but on the inside, they're depressed. You know what I'm saying? We find that out after they pass away. Like, this is where we at right now.
Yeah.
So, we just need to continue to promote therapy, because it is a cool thing. Like, it is. Like, if it's going to help us maintain our life and our livelihood and our relationships, like, you know what I'm saying? I am not opposing to it. I've been on both sides of it. So I don't know.
No doubt. And as the scripture says, honor your mother and father so you can.
First and foremost.
From this long day.
So, I hope that his son and him and get some kind of closure and go from there. But as we navigate with what's going on.
But really quick. So to that point, I'm sorry, just to that point, one last point from the interview that the mom did was a lot of the son's bitterness and resentment is that he feels like Kirk is treating his new family better than he got treated when he was growing up. But he's a product of a teenage pregnancy. You know what I mean? So I pray for Kirk's sons. I think his name is Carry On or something like that. I pray for his healing, because there has to come a point in any child's life where you realize your parents did the best that they could. And you have to love them from a place of compassion, of wondering, like, what would I do if I were 17 years old with a newborn? What would my child's life pan out to be like if I'm using my 17-year-old brain to parent and mother on a child?
Right.
Now that makes sense. And, when you put it into that context, I can see where he's been left out of the fold. He probably, I didn't even know that he existed until now. So maybe this is his cry for help. I'm just going to keep him 100. I knew about his daughter and the other, but I didn't know that he had another son. So I hope that, you know, there is some closure there, because he probably felt some type of way that he's not getting. Maybe he wanted to be like his father, or maybe he wanted to have the opportunity to be in the spotlight, but this is his only way of doing it, is by exposing, but is a better way of doing it. And I hope that they can, you know, work it out, because this ain't the time to be doing that. You know, we need to, you know, focus our energy. So I hope that there's some closure here. But I wanted to get into something that popped up a couple of days ago. Mr. West, talking about from Kirk to Mr. West. Mr. Kanye West.
Oh, Yeezy
is now officially a billionaire.
And he just won another Grammy too for his Christian album, gospel album.
So according to CNN, the 43-year-old rapper turned fashion and athletic shoe mogul is now worth $6.6 billion, according to Bloomberg. And the vast majority of his wealth is tied up in his apparel businesses. So to bring it into context, it's a combined value of his sneaker partnership with Adidas and his clothing line with Gap is worth combined $3.2 billion and to $4.7 billion. And he has an additional $1.7 billion in other assets, including a major investment in his estranged wife, Kim Kardashian's Skims shapewear line. And his music catalog is currently worth $110 million. And then he also holds $122 million in cash and stock. So he has a 10-year partnership with Gap right now. So there's a lot of growth going on. And in the midst of this, there is a reported divorce between him and Kimmy.
Dear Kanye West, I will give you my Cash App. Any way you bless my bank account, I'll be satisfied. I'm joking.
Well, I have to say
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm not a total Kanye West fan, but I'm proud of him in the sense of he's always had a passion for fashion. He's tried to collaborate with Louis Vuitton and it didn't work out that way.
Nike.
And the fact that he created his own lane and became a billionaire by creating his own lane says a lot. In partnership with Gap and Adidas, I get it. But I think it's a testament that if you have the desire or the passion to do something, don't let no from somebody else be the final answer. Like, keep knocking, keep striving, keep trying. Because now look.
You know, when I thought about this article, maybe go back to his interview with Sway, which happened to be about 10 years ago, I believe, and it became like a popular meme. You ain't got the
answer. You don't know the answer, Sway. You don't have all the answers.
And it happened to be on the conversation of where he is now with the fashion. And he had a deal with Nike and it didn't fall through with his Yeezy shoe brand. But you look at where he is now, he has definitely opened up the lane for a lot of entertainers, musicians who want to get into this lane. And I think it was calculated for him marrying Kim Kardashian. It actually helped his brand to get him into the clothing.
No,
I think no. He has investments in her skimwear, where Ashley is selling pretty well.
Yeah, it's a business move. I get it.
Right.
So wait, so are you guys saying that their marriage was a strategic business move for both of them? Is that what I'm hearing?
Probably.
I think that there is some truth to that, because when you think about where he was at the time, he was, from a musician standpoint, we were like, dude, this dude right here is like the future of hip hop, right? Because he was just coming out like from a production, and Antonio, you can account to this being in the industry, like the dude's production when Kanye would, when he would drop, you would respect it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last Graduation, that's still one of my favorite albums that he had.
Yeah.
But I feel like him being married to Kim Kardashian enhanced his opportunities to get into doors that he probably wouldn't have been able to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they both, and not only the two of them, but I think her family also, everybody ate. Everybody was eating.
Yeah.
With having Mr. West around. And he got himself involved into what, and hey, I got to give her credit, because at first I didn't, but she stood by him and all the stuff that he had going on, and, trying to push to run for the office of president and all that kind of stuff. it was just a lot of this ridiculousness that he was doing. It's like, bro, I need you to just get back to making music and stick to like the things that you're doing. But you know, I don't want to say I'm rooting for them, but I'm happy to see that he has taken his brand and he's doing the things that his mother pushed him to do. So I'm proud of him in that aspect, that he's living on and he's creating opportunities for his children and for those around him. But yeah, that's a huge deal right there. When you break it down and you look at what he's invested in and what he has going on, I gotta respect it. Like, he made some really great calculated business moves.
So let me chime in on this. Yeezy, man. Yeezy has, I'll say this, he's done the work. Like, to get where he is right now, he's done the work. And he's been that way before The Rock. So it's this cat that I know that used to have beats from Kanye. And so Kanye would produce the record and he would do the hook. This is before The Rock, right? So he would produce the record and do the hook. And he was doing this for everybody that he did beats for. So that meant, this is before he did Through the Wire. That meant that, how am I going to get out here? These people don't know who I am. I'm a rapper. They're not really taking me serious, but I'm going to get on the hook so they'll hear my voice. He impressed Dame Dash through somebody else. Dame Dash and Yeezy, I mean, and Jay-Z, they had Rockaware, right? So for Yeezy to get involved in clothing, it was a line in the business that he engaged in, right? He did J to the Izzo, right? Put him on a whole nother level as a producer. So my thing is that Kanye has been doing the work, and a lot of us don't really see the fact that this man has been going crazy, basically trying to prove himself to where, and that's why he had the argument with his way, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Prove himself because they want to put you in a box. Oh, you a producer? I'm not a producer. He had the accident. He made the money from production. He did Through the Wire with his jaw wire. He did that because he want to show, like, basically that I am an artist, right?
Yeah.
And so then when it came to the fashion, you know, I love Yeezys, right? The whole idea was like out the water. He didn't come in with the polo shirt and the bucket hat like he said. He came in with the shoe game. You know, before Yeezys, the game had the shoe 310, and that was a cool, you know, that was a cool deal. But the game had a shoe, and then G Unit had a shoe, but Yeezy kept doing it, and then
AZ had a shoe too, the S. Carter.
Right, and that was through Reebok. So then he goes on the show with Sway. Now Sway, that's a good interview. And the fact that you brought it up, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. There was some deal with Fendi that Kanye wanted to get involved in an internship with Fendi, or something about a leather pen or something. He got really upset about it. But you know, I think sometimes it's not that anyone is any more talented than the next person. It's just that, like the South, I got something to say. I have something to offer to fashion. I have an idea that I think will go forward. If you did it and your shit ain't as hot as mine, how come I can't do it? And I think that's really what Kanye's spirit is. Now, when he got into politics, you know what I'm saying? I think that was just extra. His marriage to Kanye, his marriage to Kim Kardashian.
You said it right the first time, because nobody loves Kanye as much as Kanye loves Kanye.
Hilarious.
He has a narcissistic personality, but I would like to, well, from what you were saying, Antonio, I have.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, because I cut Antonio.
But at the end of the day, his marriage to Kim, yes, Kim had her lane and she was executing her plans, right? Their marriage together, both having lanes, they're like a power team, power couple, you know. But I feel in the sense that I'm so glad he didn't really get too consumed in the Kardashian world. Even though he was part of it, he wasn't consumed. Like, if you see some of the shows, which I didn't see many, but he wasn't really involved. Maybe they tried to get him in there, but he really wasn't involved. And now, I'm gonna summarize it. And now, you know, tabloids say that he's not even speaking to her. Like, he's not even, she got to go through his security in order to talk. to him. You know what I'm saying? And so it must be bad blood, probably relating that political stuff. But at the end of the day, man, I'm bigging up Kanye because he did the work. Like I aspire to do the work in the fields that I'm in. He did the work. And I know from his grassroots, I got proof of the beats he produced when he was on the hook. This is way before Twister. This is way before Jesus Walks. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, y'all know John Legend came from Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
John Legend is killing it. John Legend's on TV every week.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely done his deal. We're not going to ever discredit what he's been able to accomplish in his career, but I do. One thing I can say to what you were saying is he never got caught up into the Kardashian drama, but they have what's the word I'm looking for?
Used him to elevate themselves,
as they've done with a lot of Black men. And they used his platform and they were able to capitalize off it. That's what I was looking for. They capitalized off of the brand of Black men. So that's what they do. But he didn't get caught up into it. And the fact that he's using other channels for her to come to him
proves it.
It proves what he didn't want to get involved in the first place. And, you know, maybe in the strained relationships, I hope that he can build the relationships and repair the relationships with those that gave him opportunities in the music game. I hope that he can get back to making the music that we want to hear from him. But I gotta say, his grind, I will never discredit his grind and to follow the passions that he has. Right. Yeah. Even if it means running for president.
And I want to say one thing, like I'm not mad if he runs for president because, you know, anyone can do it. He's proved
clearly.
Right. But I want to speak to the relationship between him and Dame Dash. Like, you know, he was, because Kanye's a passionate person, so is Dame. Jay-Z got to a level, he didn't really mess with Kanye. He'll hear him, he'll listen to him, but Jay-Z was on his plane and not really checking for Kanye. But Dame and Kanye, they still rock with each other. And Kanye, a lot of who he is today is because of Dame Dash. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye has his own desire, but Dame is a good teacher, bro. Like everybody's seen, like even though he's wild, Dame is a good teacher, and you can say that Kanye was Dame's student. Now look at it, bro. Look at the whole.
Oh no, he said it on record. Me and Dame still cool because we both assholes. He said it. Yeah, they're both assholes. They both know how to rock with each other. They don't take no for an answer. They're going to do what they need to do, and they're going to continue. So that's that on Kanye. Shout out to Kanye. Good job, Kanye. All right, Shar, I'm going to defer to you on this next one, though. Because because Meghan and Harry and Oprah, the interview. I saw it finally, by the way. I saw it a few days ago. So, you know, so I want to defer to you on this one. Take it.
I just want to start by saying I need a Harry in my life, period. I love how Harry championed for his wife, yo. Like his Black wife against the royal family, the institution. He championed for his wife. So I just want to start off by saying that. Second, a lot of English high noon tea was spilled during that interview. We had to read between the lines a little bit, but they exposed a lot more than I thought they would have. I already knew they had an issue with the fact that he was marrying a Black woman. I could already tell that there was going to be some snubs against her. I do give Harry credit for having the same spirit as his mom, which is, I wouldn't even call it a rebellious spirit, but just a
humanistic.
I can't even think of the word I want to use, but just a
independent,
honoring himself, being an individual, honoring himself, not following the beaten path that was already set before him. Because here's the thing, like he already saw how the game went. Like his dad married Princess Diana while he was in love with Camilla. Whole time dad was cheating on his mom. Mom ends up getting killed only for dad to go back to Camilla and live happily ever after. So I get why he was like, look, when the time comes for me to get married, I'm going to marry somebody I actually love. And I'm going to try to do it within the confines of the royal, whatever empire, or however they have it, the institution, as they like to call it. But I'm going to do my own thing. And they literally, based on the interview, drove Meghan ragged. Like, they drove her crazy to the point where she needed therapy. They wouldn't let her get therapy. She wanted to go out and hang out with her friends. They wouldn't let her go out and hang out with her friends. Like, they literally controlled her life, and had an issue with the fact that the baby might be a little bit brown than your average white kid. And that's what did it for me. So my question to y'all, because they didn't spill this tea, who in the royal family do y'all think had an issue with the color of the baby skin?
I think it wasn't the immediate family. I think it was outside, like relatives that are part of the family. Because it's like, because when we think of the family, we just think it's the queen, his brother. What's his brother's name? I can't think of his brother's name.
William.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. William, and then his father. But I think it might be some of the outsiders, because her relationship with Prince William and his wife Katie was strained. So Kate and Meghan didn't get along, right? And then you also have their cousins who are also part of the royal family. So I think it was probably, how it is when you have family members, cousins, aunts, and uncles. You got that one crazy aunt or crazy uncle. They get a little drink in their system and they're gonna say something that's backwards. And Meghan probably heard it, or Harry probably heard it. And what I gathered from a lot of the interview was that Meghan was kept in the dark a lot. She wasn't prepared. Like most people who are married into the royal family, they're prepared to be involved into the royal family. So her being from America, she didn't know a lot about the hierarchy and the steps that it takes to, you got to curtsy and you got to do this and you got to do that. One thing I can say is that I do appreciate the fact that she didn't speak bad or ill towards the queen. Her and the queen did have a great relationship from what was shared in the interview. But what I gathered from it too was like, when you're Black in certain spaces, right? And you get involved in spaces that you're not familiar with, of course, there's going to be some trauma that's going to take part. And of course, you're going to deal with some things. We deal with that in this as civilians, going in spaces that are unfamiliar. And then we have to find our way, some kind of way to navigate this. But the thing is that's different is because of who she is. But I got to give it up to Harry for stepping up.
That
man got off of his white horse and told them all, middle finger, I'm not doing none of this. You guys are not going to affect my marriage. You're not going to affect me raising a family. And if it requires me to relinquish the throne, and if you look at the hierarchy of it, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen for him to get. His father would be king anyway. They live long in that family anyway. But one thing I can say is that I give him credit for that. But there were some things that kind of was like opened up to me, is like the fact that there's no security. They took a lot of power away from him, and I felt that was wrong. And let's forget the fact that he married a Black woman. I'm just looking at the fact that this man has all this power and it still means nothing to y'all because he did something that he did something that y'all wanted him to do. He decided to go a different route. So you punish him and he's like, well, forget it then. I don't need this anyway.
Took his inheritance away, took care of his financial security and inheritance for his family away. It highlighted the fact that they're not a family. They are a legit business.
And that happens a lot in families that are a hierarchy and they have certain power and they have certain benefits that you and I cannot even imagine. And the fact that he's willing to relinquish that showcases how much in love he is with Meghan. And it's like a perfect story that you see from like Disney or like some Netflix movie, or series where a prince comes and saves the day and marries this city girl and they go on to live happy ever after by any means necessary. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Lifetime knockoff joint.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? Or Tyler Perry, who also donated their home.
Don't even mention that man's name. Disney is in the works of coming up with their next biracial princess and redheaded prince.
Hey, shout out to Bridgerton, right?
Oh yeah. Oof.
Well, I think
shout out.
I want to speak to Oprah.
Hey, Simon.
I want to speak to Oprah's reactions during that interview.
There were a lot of memes for sure.
Yes.
And I mean, shout out to Oprah because she did what a journalist does. She looks for
the GOAT, yo.
Right?
She is the GOAT.
Right. And who else but Oprah was gonna get that story? I think.
Yeah, either her or her girlfriend.
In the matter in which it took place, like I think it has to be really hard for Harry. My brain gets cluttered with this conversation. First and foremost, rest in peace to his mom, Princess Diana. Right? He is his mother's child.
Yeah.
100%. He didn't like what was happening. He found love and he was willing to do whatever for it. You got to respect a man that stands up, that stands up. And you can see during the interview, the parts that I saw, he really is a family man. He really wants to do what's right by his family, provide protection for his family. It's very unfortunate that Meghan was not allowed to align with what was happening over there. But at the end of the day, shout out to Harry. The only thing I didn't like is, Oprah, she had an interview with Monique's family. And you know what I'm saying? So I was scared. I was scared that what was being said would kind of get like some negative feedback from the royal family. I'm glad that what the grandmother, what's her name?
Elizabeth,
she had nothing negative to say about that interview. I was worried that after this interview, it was gonna be some "we can't find them" type shit. So that's what I was worried about.
Well, we know that's not gonna happen. What I would say is what this
they spill on the tea.
Right. They exposed it, but what I have to say is after that interview, we know this already, but it just goes to show you the impact of racism, right? The impact of being in a place where you are a power and you're legitimate with that power, but you still find a way to knock others down. And then the fact that people who are part of the UK and are fans of the Queen and the royal family and all that, fun stuff or whatever. Piers Morgan decided to use his platform to talk bad and ill against it. And then you got Sharon Osbourne. So it just gets to expose who these people really are that we elevate and put on platforms. And they say, oh, they're honorary this and they're honorary that. In reality, they don't have your best interest for nothing. Yeah. And they expose that. And I want to give a shout out to Holly Robinson Peete for going after Sharon Osbourne on the show to talk. The knockoff you is what I call it, the knockoff you.
Right.
You would never go at Whoopi like that, right?
Nope.
So the fact that she used her platform and she's from the UK, she decided to say certain things for Holly Robinson Peete, who we know is not what Sharon called her ghetto or some kind of stuff. We know Holly Robinson.
Yeah, never.
You know what I'm saying? She's always been a class act. You know what I'm saying? Like most of our, but that just goes to show you, we put these people on these platforms and they're cool, they're this, they're that, they're hip because they took a picture with Snoop Dogg and all that. It's like, listen, these folk don't give a shit about you. And then when you start talking or use your platform to speak truth, they want to knock you down still. So the hell with her and her drug addict rock and roll husband. You know what I'm saying? And they family, because I never been a fan of them anyway. I'm not a fan for anybody who I can read through and know that there's a bunch of bullshit coming out their mouth. So kudos to Holly Robinson. Kudos to
Cheryl
Underwood for going after her. And you know what I'm saying?
Because it was only in defense of the fact that Sharon was trying to defend Piers Morgan's views on Meghan and Harry.
Right. And then also shout out to the person who's on the show with Piers Morgan, Alex Burstford, who stepped in and went after him for his, and from what I read, I guess Piers Morgan tried to holler at Meghan, and Meghan turned him down. So he feels some kind of way about that still. He still salty. It's like, bro, I need
that is the way of the world. We are getting rejected every day.
I need you to take several seats, and you need to watch the way you speak towards women. I don't care what ethnicity a woman is. You don't disrespect no woman and use your platform as a man to degrade in that manner. And he's done it repeatedly. And it's very fascinating to me that another woman would take sides with the man who's disrespecting another woman. And I just find that very interesting. It's very contradictory. So it's like that this goes to show me that in your world of Me Too, that when it's towards a woman of color, it doesn't have an impact, right? So let's say it was a white woman that Harry met and that they married and lived happy ever after and all this took place. Would you still use that energy to do so, right? So that's my whole way of thinking about it too.
Here's the thing. If it was a white woman who Harry married, will we even be having this conversation?
We wouldn't be having this conversation, and it probably wouldn't be as big of a story. But I feel that Meghan was put in a situation that was so unfamiliar to her because she didn't grow up in a royal situation, right? So, you know, these young ladies who are part of that world, they're raised and put in position to be in this. And she was just a regular, beautiful young lady who had a promise.
But Kate wasn't raised in society either. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with you being raised in society. I think it's literally black and white.
It is literally black and white, but the fact that she didn't know the protocol and didn't know about the structure and the hierarchy, I'm pretty sure Kate knows that. But the fact that Meghan didn't know, that's neither the story here and there, but the fact that she didn't know. But I felt like the treatment, the color of the skin, the fact that she's not from the UK, and then that Harry was really in love with her, and then the treatment. So it was just nasty all around. But I got to give a shout out to the both of them. It took a lot of courage, and I wish them nothing but the best. They're gonna be all right.
Shout out to Tyler Perry for letting them live in his house and giving them security. I said, Tyler Perry, I may not like your productions, but you sure do look out for the folks. You sure do look out for people, and I love that about him.
So Tyler Perry, if you do get a hold of this episode, Char will definitely drop the Cash App.
Yes. Tyler Perry, I just don't like your productions. I love you. I love everything you stand for outside of your bootleg productions on out. And that's it.
Yeah, his story as a man, he came a long way. So.
Speaking like on the same tip on the lane of Kanye West, like you got to give Tyler Perry his props, and he started late. Yeah. It wasn't like this was something he did in his 20s. Like it started. He wasn't like Spike Lee. Like he took the unconventional route with stage plays, and he funded his own thing. So from an entrepreneur standpoint, I give him credit.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, I'm not a big fan. Like he ain't gonna be making no Crooklands and no you know what I'm saying, Mo Better Blues no time soon. But I'll give
and my only beef is sisters. What is it, brothers or bruhs?
Bruh.
The Oval. Like those are my only three beefs with you. Medea, you let that die the way that it should have, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's just and acrimony.
What's the one that we talked about last episode that was this beyond shitty? Like it was so shitty.
The one with the dudes falling from grace.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it. Rotten Tomatoes didn't even give it a tomato. It gave it a splat.
That flat top.
It gave it a splat, like a 9%. It was like that's how shitty that movie was. I remember my homegirl hit me up. She was like, "Did you see this movie?" I said, "Damn,
Tyler."
Yeah, that's all bad. So yeah, shout out to Tyler Perry for giving the crib away.
This is why creatives take naps, get your rest, take your breaks. Like you can't always be on.
Yeah,
we can't have you out here producing trash.
Like Wendy Williams out here always on too.
Wendy Williams, okay, I know where you're going with this, but I will give her credit. She does take her breaks.
Wait, can you take a break during a show when you got a shark?
So she doesn't take those kind of breaks, but like she'll go off production for long periods of time to get herself together if she's going through something. But go ahead, Antonio. Go ahead and get on my girl.
Man, okay, so Wendy,
I love you, by the way. Anything that they say, these are their views, not mine. I
don't really care for her, so I'm looking forward to this.
I don't really have a view, to be honest. It's just like, this is what happened. Wendy Williams was, during her show, her production, she belched and she farted. And so it made the news. Like, it made the news. I can't believe it made the news. Now, I would think that would be a production error. We're gonna stop and start again. It made me think like, and you know, I was born in the 70s. Merv Griffin. What if Merv Griffin or Donahue or Oprah or like, what if they? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? Like,
shut up.
But in her defense, her shows, she has a live show. Her show's recorded live.
Right. Like, so you have to take into account, like, even Arsenio Hall, bro. Can you imagine? You have to suppress those natural forces if you can. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know, bro. I mean, that was just like the worst. That's the worst you could. I mean, that's just the worst of television. I think in society we're just getting like we're always at the worst. I don't know why. Like, you don't never do that. You don't do that.
It happens to the best person though, because she's super shameless about everything. She's super shameless, super transparent. So I could see why she would let something like that happen on air. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So, but like, my ego is a little too prevalent for that.
Well, I'll put it like this: Zoom has been part of our lives for the past year, right? Being in the pandemic, and right. I know how to excuse myself if I feel some rumbling going on in my body. I say, hey, you know what? Be right back. BRB in the chat, right? For her to do that, it was funny to me because of the energy she puts in bashing people and using her platform to just say whatever comes off of the head, and she's very transparent in doing so. So to your point, Shar, for her to transparently burp and fart on live TV and then just let it just, luckily there was no live audience. You know, I don't know if she has like certain percentages of people that join live audience. When Antonio brought it up, I was like,
so it's all staff members. Right now it's only staff.
Right.
Oh, well, look.
So could you imagine if it would have been a live audience, if it, like, you know, but I don't know. I just find it funny. It's like, like, it's like Nelson from The Simpsons. You know, like, that's what you get. Like, now we got something on your ass. You know what I'm
saying? But that's the thing. She's very transparent, even about her own shortcomings, guys.
I know. I'm not discrediting that. I get you.
She gets the same heat she gives out to people. Like, even when her husband cheated on her the mistress came out pregnant, she came out on national TV and was like, all right, guys, today I'm the hot topic. How many people do you know would honestly do that?
Yeah, she's trying to diffuse the flames. She's trying to keep it like, let me talk about it first. It was a TV show didn't that happen in the girls' trip? When some shit was happening, they wanted to get the story out, and Queen Latifah had the story.
Oh, I gotta rewatch that movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a marketing ploy.
Yeah, Queen Latifah was like the Wendy Williams of like the crew, like the gossiper, blogger, whatever. And that movie, you know what? I've seen 3 movies from Tiffany Haddish in the last month, and I've never been a fan, but I got to tell you, the movies that I've seen her in have me laughing. I'm not gonna lie, because she's herself.
Which one?
Girls Trip, and
that was good.
And then the one with her and Tika Sumpter. Ooh, Tika Sumpter, bad. Tika Sumpter's bad. What was the name of that movie? And she came out of jail, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Something about Boston.
Yeah,
no.
That one. She had me rolling. She had me rolling in that one. And then I'm trying to think, there was another movie I see. Maybe it's those.
Night School. You didn't see Night School?
I've seen Night School, but she wasn't. She was more serious. She wasn't as funny as she usually is. But in Girls Trip and the one Oh yeah, Like a Boss. That one with her and Salma Hayek. She had me. That one had me rolling because she was just doing the most. But I yeah. But yeah, Wendy Williams passing gas live on TV. You know. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of women.
What's next?
No, we all know Oprah would never.
First,
we all know Oprah would never.
Maybe Gail.
Don't do that to Gail.
What if Gail?
You know what Gail looks like? Gail reminds me of a more kept Pam Oliver. I can't unsee that vision in my head.
I'm waiting for her to have a bad hair day then.
Yo, Pam Oliver. Okay, so Shar, you have those moments where you send me stuff, I'll be rolling. In that moment, you have me cracking up. Because Pam Oliver, shout out to Pam Oliver, but they did her code. They bumped her to being like the second sideline reporter, and Aaron Andrews took over. But Pam Oliver, she has neck in the game, and she actually attended an HBCU too. So got to give her credit for that. But yeah, she be having, I don't know what be going on. Oh, she got, yeah, her and Gail. If you did a side-by-side comparison, we're going to have to make sure that we do that. But we're going to have to, my God, wow.
Yeah, Gail should have afforded when she was interviewing R. Kelly. That would have been classic.
Wow. Okay.
On to the next. Stacey Dash. And we're gonna just, you know, Stacey Dash, Miss Clueless herself.
A black man again?
Nah, she is now turning a leaf. She is letting people know that she's
black again.
For her trauma sort, and she made a mistake.
She about to do what?
She is apologizing for her support for number 45, our former president. She's apologizing for her actions and saying that she's made a lot of mistakes. So in an interview, the Clueless star said that anger drove her to her political stance and motivated her to be a conservative media contributor. And as she was on Fox News during that time that number 45 was in office, and she used her platform to just say whatever came off of the top of the head. So my thing is this, it's like, okay, you used your platform and whatever platform that is when this person was in office, number 45, and now you're turning a new leaf because it ain't shit for you to do no more, woman. Ain't nobody calling you to be in no movie. Ain't no Clueless spinoff or no sequel coming out no time soon. So you have nothing. So of course you're gonna do this because your people told you to do this. You don't feel no kind of way about the Black community and or any other community for that matter that's been disenfranchised. You're doing that because you ain't got shit to do. You're damn near 50-something years old, and the only claim to fame you have is a 90s TV movie. And you were like older when you played that character anyway. So it's like, ain't nobody tripping on what you got to say. It is what it is. But I just find it fascinating to me that now all of a sudden you want to say that I made mistakes. No, you felt that way. You felt that way. And if you didn't feel that way, you ain't nothing but a puppet anyway. So I have nothing to say. It is what it is. Her.
Can I tell y'all why I'm cool on Stacey Dash?
You had an encounter with her.
Go for it.
Man. Okay.
You had an encounter.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She was in Rick Ross' video, right?
Oh, damn.
She had on some Daisy Dukes, but she put on black leggings under the Daisy Dukes. Now, how you gonna be a video vixen in some cutoff shorts and some leggings? Fail. You supposed to be, and he was on a motorcycle and all that. You supposed to be looking like a hot mama. You out here you're not even doing your job. You know what I'm saying? You show up on my video, and I hired you for a reason because you hot, and you don't show up with an attitude like, no, I'm not wearing that. I gotta have on some leggings. Fire.
When did Stacey Dash become a video girl?
When
was this?
She was in one of his music videos. I know which one you're talking about. It was in Rick Ross's. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he was. They weren't.
It was in. Hold on. It was in Rick Ross and Neo. Super High.
Yeah. Super high,
So,
yeah.
It was a long time ago.
But it was a long time ago. But Rick Ross actually has a lyric about her in one of his recent albums where he dissed her because he probably felt some kind of way, not only because it was actually using her platform, but maybe from that music video.
Bro. And then what made it worse, like she's a caramel complected young lady, right? Had on a white, like a jean Daisy Duke outfit with some black leggings on, bro. Come on.
So you're saying because she wasn't willing to objectify herself, she shouldn't have taken the job?
Not objectify. What, she could have changed her whole outfit. You just like you ruined a scene. Like you ruined the scene for me. You had on some white Daisy Dukes, a jean outfit with some black leggings. That don't even go. Nobody wears that out. You with your boyfriend, you're gonna put on a outfit. It's not even about objectification. Because I respect that. Because people that do objectify themselves, they okay with it. And they sign the release. So yeah, that's 100 right there. I'm saying I casted you, I probably paid you, and then you had an attitude.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
that's.
I think her coin is running out, and she's trying to figure out how to get jobs with Black. Because here's the thing, I will say, right now in entertainment, TV, movies, Black producers and directors, we are killing it. Writers, we are killing it. We are booking, and busy. And those are all the people who she now has to work with. Hollywood is now looking a little bit more mocha. And she probably needs a coin, and nobody's messing with her.
Well, it is, and it's very diverse now. Shout out to Lena Waithe because she's doing her damn thing too. I got to give her credit with the Shy.
Yeah, she got a deal with Def Jam. She's starting a record company.
She's doing the most right now. So no, I agree, and that's kind of what I was trying to say in the beginning. Shar is like she's doing this because maybe her publicist and her people are telling her like, listen, you made a bad decision, and maybe she hired a new team to help her get back out there. But it's like, dude, at this point, ain't nobody gonna mess with you like that because you wasn't nothing before that. So ain't nobody tripping on you. You made a bad mistake, and it'll be interesting to see if she's in a Tyler Perry movie at that. Maybe he hires her on to be in one of them, maybe on Bruh or Sisters or
her people probably calling him to get on. That's probably what.
Yeah, Tyler Perry gave a job to what was the brother from the Cosby Show that was married to?
I can't think of his name.
Nelson from the Cosby Show. He gave him a job. So
Stacey needs to go somewhere and partner with her good sis Candace Owens, and they can come up with something together.
Oh,
they can go run off into the sunset together.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to see Amanda Seales interview Stacey Dash in a pay-per-view situation.
Yeah.
and have Candace Owens on the three-way. And just have Amanda Seales this with her energy just tear him a new one. I would like to see that. That would be fun.
Speaking of Amanda Seales, did you guys hear that the journalist who interviewed Sharon Osbourne, I cannot think of his name right now.
Kevin Frazier. Yeah.
He tagged Amanda Seales, Wendy Williams, and somebody else.
Tamron Hall, maybe?
I don't think it was Tamron. It was somebody else.
I saw it though. Yeah.
Yeah. Just whose side are you on, bruh? Whose side are you on?
Well, Kevin Frazier is funny because his career started off as sports. He was on ESPN, and then he did his rounds and being in the sports media area, and then he became on Entertainment Tonight, and put the fake teeth in his mouth and the whole nine, right? So that's his energy, and for him to use that energy, it's like, hey man, like you probably tagged the wrong woman to be whatever you called yourself doing. Maybe you should have reached out first before you just tag Amanda into something like that, because she's gonna respond.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna.
What she's looking for, and it's not BS.
It was not a good look.
It's not white people playing victim.
Yo, Kevin Frazier is 56 years old. Man, that brother looks like 22.
Now,
this black don't crack at all.
He's been in the game for a minute. Real quick though, I'm just gonna give, because I'm a big sports fan, a boxing fan. Rest in power to the marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Oh yeah,
Passed away. That dude was legendary. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He fought Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. He was one of the top fighters of his time. And if you think about great fighters at that, well, I know I had to shift gears real quick, but I just had to say that, you know, because I'm a big boxing fan and big sports fan, and for him to go out the way he did, it was kind of all of a sudden. And you know, I wish him and his family the best. But yeah, this it's a lot going on. I have to say, being a black person in America, and also just any other group in America, and then I'm also going to say here, you know, I support, you know, my fellow Asian brothers and sisters out here who are going through things. I want to make sure I make that clear too. But it's just fascinating to me. We have to be mindful in this country what is taking place, and allyship is huge, and also building up communities and having a conversation. So I always want to say, whatever you do in life, take time to have conversation with people. Don't try to use hate as a form of conversation. Try to build a bridge and speak with your fellow person and do that. Because I think we have to realize that when we do come back into being in society and flourishing in the way that we want to, my hope is that we learn from this in the best way possible. Because it's not normal, but it has been normal the way things have been the past year. So I hope that we use this time and energy to not only heal our own, but also just have a conversation. And with I found myself playing golf, and I played a couple of weeks ago, and I was playing with this white man, cool as hell, just cool. We was just talking about all kind of stuff, and it was just cool that, you know, no matter, and that's why I don't pay attention to the media, but it's like, you know, a lot of stuff out there that we see, it's happening, but at the same time, there's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of good people out there, really good people. Be good, y'all. Be good. Yeah. Be well and be good.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, like just going back to your point, and we can all attest to this. I went to suburban schools my entire life, where I was one of the only Black kids. So I've had a lot of white friends growing up. I will never say on this platform that all white people are bad. That is not the truth. Yeah. Many of my best friends were white. So I don't ever want to come off as it's a Black versus white thing whatsoever. But I will say that in recent years, hate has become the norm in our society. And it does make me as a Black woman question where a lot of white people are coming from. So I just felt led to say that.
No, that's real talk. That's real talk. And I think that, you know, it's not our job anymore. And I find this in the spaces that I'm in, the anti-racism, right? I was in a conference a few weeks back, and this brother was using his platform to speak out on anti-racism. He made it clear that the people who are being disenfranchised in this country and have been treated with the utmost disrespect, it's not our job anymore to be on the front line to tell our oppressor the wrongs that they've been having. They need to come together and speak out. So I give credit to people like Tim Wise, who is a white man who speaks out against anti-racism and speaks out on the things that have been done to people in this country. And you're seeing it quite often. You're seeing it in the way it's been played out with the unfortunate situation that happened in Atlanta with the women in that nail salon, you know, the way that the media portrayed that. And he's, you know, so it's this, you know, it's not our job anymore. And I just hope and pray that, you know, for those families who lost those individuals, but we just have to be mindful of the world and the times that we're in. And it's going to take a conversation, and then people looking themselves in the mirror and just saying, hey, you know what? I did wrong by this person. I need to do the right thing. And there's a lot of good people, but going into that.
I find it very hard to believe though, in that same vein, I find it very hard to believe that white people cannot empathize or sympathize with Black people when we got the same form of Black history growing up, with the exception of those of us who took Africana studies in college. We all learned about slavery about 5th grade. So like, where is the lapse in?
Well, what I think where it comes
information coming from.
It's
I think
their structure in life. Their structure in life. When they go home, that's where it's taught.
Reality kicks in. Reality kicks in, and what it is too is that they're realizing that the world that their father, their grandfather, and their great grandfather lived in is no longer, and it is not slowly, but
that's good, Antonio. I never thought about it that way. Thank you for that.
It's changing by the minute. It's changing by the minute. Yeah. And women, shout out to the women out there, you know, who are creating. I appreciate having Shar on this platform, but I appreciate women who are dominating and doing their thing, and then other ethnic groups who are doing the right thing. And the world is changing. This country is changing, and the individuals who align themselves with bigotry and racist agenda, they're doing so because there's a fear of what this country was founded upon and some of the things that are taking place. They're losing it, and they're trying to do everything possible to bring that back, and it ain't happening no more. People have taken a chance, and it's not our job anymore to fight that fight. It's now our job to build our communities and right. So yeah, that's my whole thing on that. And to those lines, I know we got to do our sound off in a little bit, but I want to promote our upcoming series that we're going to start having in our next few episodes. So be on the lookout for that. But we're going to focus on community. We're going to focus on education. And we're going to have some wonderful guests in our next few episodes. So be on the lookout and continue to support. Continue to check out our previous episodes, but more to come on that, because we're going to have some really dope conversations about community, about education, about healing. We're going to revisit the things that need to be talked about and discussed that make an impact in our society and our communities that we serve in. So be on the lookout for that. So I just wanted to plug that in real quick. Now let's go into sound off, the fun part. Sound off.
Amir Anthony, go ahead.
Okay. I'll have to say, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot what my sound off was gonna be.
Okay, I'll go.
Go ahead and go.
Okay. So my sound off. Oh, go ahead. My sound off is more of like a shout out, and I just want to shout out to Coach Mosley.
Coach.
Yep. And the team at East LA Community College. Yes, ELAC. I want to shout out Coach Mosley just for using his platform to elevate Christ in the community.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched the Netflix show, what is it? Last Chance University on Netflix.
Last Chance, yeah.
Great.
Y'all know I'm not even a sports fan, but I just love the fact that he used his platform, and he could be a Division I coach. He was a Division I coach, but he knew he went where he was most impactful. He wasn't looking for the spotlight. He wasn't looking for dollars. He put his family first. Well, he put God first, his family first, and the community as well third. Shout out to all the players. I wish you guys nothing but the best. If anybody's from LA or any urban community, you know how hard it is to make it out. You know that sometimes being an athlete is your only way out. It is your only hope for urban Black Americans. So I just want to shout out to Coach Mosley for just shining his light and using his platform to do dope. And I think we can all take a page out of his book that it's not always the spotlight. Go where you're fruitful.
Yeah, dope.
So now I do have my sound off, and it picks back off of what you just mentioned, using your platform. I'm going to give a shout out to Vanessa Bryant for stepping up and fighting the sheriff's department and the exposure of the victims in that deadly crash that took place last year with Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and the 7 others that were involved in that. So I want to give a shout out for her to take that courage and use her platform to fight against what took place, because, you know, we look at our community, our officers, they are there to protect and serve, and the fact that they use that energy to disrespect not only the Bryant family, but also the others who were lost in that deadly crash. And I got to give her credit for exposing it also on her social media page, and we can drop it into the show notes what she is planning to do. But she is definitely taking a stance against the LA Sheriff's Department and that disgusting usage of exposing the crash site pictures and showing that off, talking about it like that. And I felt that kudos to her for also exposing the officers that were involved in that as well. So shout out to Vanessa Bryant using her platform and honoring the legacy of her husband, who is still one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and her daughter as well. So I want to give a shout out to Vanessa Bryant, and I'm praying for her during this time to continue to do what she's doing.
Great. Those are two great shout outs. I think I have a sound off. I have a comedic sound off if you came to me. Y'all remember the Grammys was last week, right? Last Sunday, right?
Right.
And Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion performed. They performed, a couple of their songs, hit records, wonderful records. Cardi B won a Grammy. She taking one home to the family. That's tight, Her single, Bodak Yellow, great single. It impacted the world. It got professional women saying the lyrics and whatnot. But Candace Owens had to say something about Cardi B. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? No. Candace Owens, like, won't you leave hip hop alone, lady?
They've been going at it
for a minute at this point. Like,
but they have a history though. They've been going at it for a while.
Okay, they may have a history, but the thing about the WAP, right? We know what it is, WAP,
all
that. Okay, WAP. And I really love the WAP. I love the WAP, right? I do. But
I'm sure you do.
Candace Owens said that is is un-American. Un-American. Now let me tell you about the first time I went to a strip club. Let me tell you, and who was stripping? I want y'all to know. It wasn't Cardi B. And it wasn't Shaniqua. It was Becky. You know what I'm saying? And she had been stripping since 1972 up in this place, right? Coming to the stage is Becky since 1972. Look, I was like 23 years old, a white lady. So you can't talk about what's American, not American, and you stripping. That is a choice. And Cardi B is not stripping anymore. She is providing the soundtrack to strippers, her and Meghan, right? So just Candace, leave it alone, man. Just
to your point, what was the name of that show? The theme song was Love in the Marriage.
Married with
Children. They used to talk about going to the nudie bar all the time.
Well, see, here's the problem.
And that shows us white as it comes.
Well, black women can't talk about what's American and not American if it's stripping. She just leave it alone.
Candace Owens is that we can literally do a whole segment on her. So I'm just gonna keep it short and brief. Yeah. But she did have her child already. But she is using her platform as usual to continue to have people come to her, and she uses things or says things that steers the pot, and that's all it is. And it is what it is. I'm not going to even give her that attention right now. I don't have energy for it, but she is. I couldn't even come.
An attention whore.
She's a
troll. She's a troll.
She is annoying.
The Grammys.
She's annoying, man. And it's just like, hey, if you have that bad of an issue with Cardi B, why don't you take your time to just chop it up with her?
Yeah.
Take that time to chop it up with her. Because, like, what, at the end of the day, y'all both winning. People that align themselves with your agenda are going to come to your page. You have millions of followers, and people that are fans of Cardi B. Cardi B is going to continue to win. She's going to continue to have commercials. She's going to continue to have opportunities to build her brand off of songs and off of everything she's doing. And she's an entertainer. At the end of the day, she's an entertainer. We don't know anything else about what this woman does raising her daughter. We don't know what her marriage is like. She is an entertainer. She is no different than any other entertainer in America. So to say that I find it very funny that a Black woman has an opportunity to go after another woman of color and say what's un-American or not. So it's like, I need you to like take several seats and just reach out to her and have an opportunity to speak to her on your podcast. You have other Black folk on there that talk crazy and be talking that bullshit. So get off the show and y'all chop it up. You might find some similarities in one another. But
you better preach that word up there, Anthony.
Sound off. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna shut it down right there because I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, you was preaching.
Drop
your Cash App, friend, so they can pay you tithes and offering for that word.
Venmo. You can cash me on Venmo.
Oh, we got to get you up to the times.
Yeah, Venmo. So once again, we appreciate the support as always. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the moment. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep thriving. Keep being prosperous. We appreciate y'all listening and supporting our show. And like I said, we're gonna have some dope episodes dropping soon, focusing on community and education. Very important. And we love y'all. You can follow me personally on my page at the prosperous one, the underscore prosperous underscore one. That's a lot. I got to get that changed. And then you can also follow on the Convo Lounge. And for the rest of y'all,
you can follow me at Char.Rochelle. I am taking a social media break, or at Char's Cookie Jar, which is being revamped. But if you need access to me, that's where you can find me.
And you can find me at Antonio Crow Clothing and via the Convo Lounge.
Most definitely. Well, all right, y'all. We thank you. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Take care.
Peace.